This is DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Wednesday. We got a pretty big 11 game slate, so let's get right into the analysis. So real quick, let's see how we're currently doing tonight. So a small slate, but I'm pretty pleased how it's going so far. I was right on a lot of things with the Magic. So right now, as you can see, obviously I only played DJ Augustine. I had to stack the OKC Denver game. But the plays I talked about in the match Nick games, I'm pretty happy with. I really liked Vucevic and Aaron Gordon, and the next guy I said was DJ Augustine. I ended up going with DJ Augustine for salary relief, but Vucevic, Aaron Gordon did really well. I also called the Terrence Ross bust. That's why you don't play scoring dependent guys, or at least for me, guys like Terrence Ross, Andrew Wiggins. Terrence Ross put up like 5 fantasy points. He was pretty high owned too. So that's just kind of why I stay away from playing guys like that. And then the next side, I called it with no DeAndre Jordan. I really like Mitchell Robinson. Didn't end up playing him in my final lineup just because I was pretty content with the OKC Denver game stack. And again, it's so hard to trust David Fizdale. And look what happened. He goes and plays Henry Ellenson 36 minutes. That's why the Knicks. I always just stay away from it. It's just a headache trying to figure it out. People complain now. It's just easier to just fade, but I did really like Mitchell Robinson if I was going to play the Knick, and he went off. So pretty happy with how it's going so far. And then the Celtics Raptors, I'm looking like a blowout. No one doing too well on either side, kind of like I predicted. So pretty happy with that. And I don't know. We'll see if the OKC Denver stack pays off. But yeah, that's the lineup I went with. So let's go ahead and look into the slate for tonight. Let me make sure I click on the right one here. Yeah, that's for tomorrow. Okay. So like I said, we got 11 games. And a lot of pretty appealing games here. So game stack wise, there's a lot of really decent games you can stack. Washington, Brooklyn. The problem is trying to figure out the Brooklyn side, but this game is appealing. Minnesota, Atlanta, very appealing. Let's see, there's one or two other ones. New Orleans, LA is probably my favorite game stack. Also Milwaukee, Sacramento, but the Milwaukee situation is probably Giannis, and that's it for me. So yeah, those are the kind of game stacks I really like. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So we'll start with point guard Harden. Kind of been having some off games here of late. Just hasn't really looked like his normal self, but the price has dropped all the way down to 11.2K. The matchup pretty good against Charlotte. I think James Harden has a really, really safe floor here, probably a floor of about 50 fantasy points with tremendous upside. So I think Harden is a really solid cash game play with upside. Doncic, he had a really good game against the Clippers. Now a more difficult matchup against Indiana. The price is up. I'm going to go ahead and fade. Dallas, in general, it's Doncic, and that's about it, just because the rotations are just so wacky for Dallas. Let's see, Golden State, kind of tough. The matchup not the best against Miami, but whenever we can predict Golden State game to be close, you can target some guys, but no one really sticking out the page for Golden State for me, so I don't think I'm going to be targeting any Warriors. D'Angelo Russell, the price is up there, but the matchup is so good. It's just we just never know with the Nets though. If he's having an off game, they will limit him to like 30 minutes. So that's the tough part. He has tremendous upside. You got to consider him. Let's see, Kemba Walker here at 8.5. Kind of had an off night against the Warriors, but he's playing most of the game. I'm probably not going to go there, but I understand if you want to play Kemba. Now Trae Young, I do like this as a game stack, and Trae Young, they just been giving him all the minutes he can handle. Now he's got a really good matchup here against Minnesota. 8.3K seems pricey, but honestly, he's been paying it off, so I'm highly considering Trae Young today. Let's see, Levine. I would definitely go to if Chris Dunn and Otto Porter are both out again. I believe they're both listed as questionable right now, so if they're both out, I know matchup not the best against Memphis, but it's Levine and Lauri Markkanen, those two. That would get a huge usage bump with those guys out of the offense. Mike Conley, I get it. The matchup's good. He's just not playing enough minutes for me. Drew Holiday, I'm a little torn because they said they're going to limit his minutes, but he has played 33 and 34 each of the last 2 games. So I'm a little torn. I kind of like Drew a decent amount here. The matchup's really good here against the Lakers. So I do like Drew Holiday. It just, it is kind of risky playing him just because they said they're going to limit his minutes. So he doesn't have like huge minutes upside, but the matchup is so good. The price is down. I like Drew quite a bit. Let's see. Ingram. These Lakers are in a great matchup. So, I wouldn't mind playing, Ingram, Kuzma, LeBron. Those would probably be the 3 guys that I would the most interested in for the Lakers side. Let's see, LeVert. Again, the Nets are just, it's tough because no one plays a whole lot of minutes. The matchups are really good. So that's what makes him in play. But it's a headache trying to figure out Brooklyn's minutes. Let's see, Derrick Rose. I thought he'd pick up a start with no Teague. They went with Tyus Jones. So the point guard situation is kind of tough. I think if Tyus starts again, if Teague's out, I think it would be a pretty solid value play. And obviously Rose would be the GPP play off the bench. If Teague plays and it's not going to be limited, I would like him a decent amount here at 5.6K. Alfred Payton, another player I really like here at 5.2. It's played 28, 36, and 30. So I'm playing right around 30 minutes a game. A really good matchup here against the Lakers. I like Alfred Payton quite a bit. Rondo, I'm torn. It's a revenge game. The minutes have been so up and down. 34, 19, 29, 16. Luke Walton. That's also a headache trying to figure out the secondary piece for the Lakers. The main guys always play the consistent minutes, but it's the secondary pieces kind of that are just jumbled around the minutes. I think he's definitely worth looking GPPs. I think he has huge upside if he's playing well. They can extend him to 30 minutes where Rondo would have huge, enormous upside. So definitely in play for GPPs. Let's see, really cheap guys. I always do love playing Napier, but right now, 14, 16 minutes, not playing enough for me to consider him. All right, let's, Avery Bradley, I guess I'll bring him up. He's been playing pretty well. I never play this guy. I can't do it. So let's move on to, I guess I'll talk about Dragic here too. If he's not going to be limited, then you could definitely consider here a 4.7, but I assume they're still going to try to ease him back in. So let's move on to shooting guard. Beal, I like a decent amount here. I think he goes pretty low owned at 8.9. He's just playing all the minutes he can handle. He's going to shoot the ball close to 20 times a game. This guy has huge upside, so I like Beal quite a bit here at 8.9. Donovan Mitchell in a really good matchup. There is, some blowout risk. It's at Utah, the Clippers. Haven't been playing the best, so I think Donovan Mitchell definitely has some upside, but I don't know. I think he's a pretty solid play. Let's see. Wiggins. I told this is what happens when you play scoring dependent guys. He had been playing really well, and then he shot the ball 3 of 10 and put up 20 fantasy points. The matchup's really good. I understand if you want to go there. It's just not a guy I like playing. I just don't like playing the scoring dependent guys. Kind of like Terrence Ross. They can easily bust. Let's see, the Atlanta Wings. I'm probably going to stay away with Taurean Prince back now too. It's probably Trae Young, and that's about it. Waiters, if all those Miami guys are out again, it'll probably be Waiters. It would be Kelly Olynyk. It would be D Wade that I would consider. So we're gonna have to kind of wait for news for a lot of those Miami guys. As far as really cheap guys, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. So let's move on to small forward. We got LeBron, we got Giannis at the top here. Both these guys in really, really good matchups. LeBron, I don't think you can get a better matchup than this against the Pelicans. They're going to play them all the minutes you can handle. The Lakers need to win every game they can. So I think LeBron has some pretty big upside. Same thing here with Giannis. He's listed as questionable, but I think I saw on Twitter that he's going to be probable. So, he's going to play 35 or so minutes in a close game in a really good matchup. I think he goes pretty low owned. So I think Giannis definitely has some pretty big upside. Golden State guys, yeah, like I said, I'm just not feeling it. I understand if you want to play some of these Warriors, but I think there's just better options on the slate personally. Kuzma, yeah, so it would be LeBron, it'd be Ingram, it'll be Kuzma for me. Um, Kuzma and Ingram seem pretty appealing here. Kuzma at 6.2, he's gonna play 30 to 35 minutes in a really good matchup. So I think he's a pretty solid play. Let's see, he's washing like Ariza, Jabari Parker. Kind of tough to figure out the secondary pieces for Washington. But Ariza, he's got a high minutes floor. He's going to play, 35 or so minutes. At 5.7K, I think he's pretty safe. Then you got Jabari. This is more of a risky play off the bench. Kind of been up and down, but he has flashed some upside, so I would only target him in GPPs, but I definitely think he is playable. Let's see. Is there anything else really down here? Nothing cheap that I see that is worth considering. So yeah, let's move on. So we'll move on to power forward. Let's see. We're talking about these two guys. Blake Griffin. You guys know how I feel about Detroit. I never can get the bigs right. I'm just staying away. Lauri Markkanen. This is interesting. He's been playing really well. I would consider him. The price is all the way up there to 8.6, but I would consider him for sure if Chris Dunn and Porter out. It would be Markkanen and Levine would have such high usage rates. He's playing 35 plus minutes. So I would definitely consider Lauri if both those guys are out. Then we got Julius Randle in a revenge game. I like this play quite a bit. He's played 38 and 34 minutes each of the last two games. They seem content giving him all the minutes he can handle. So I like Julius Randle a lot here at 7.8. And then we got the tough decision here with Anthony Davis. So I'm gonna wait for news. They came out last couple of games saying they're gonna limit him to like 20 to 25 minutes. If we get no word that he's gonna be limited, I mean obviously they're gonna not play him 40 minutes, but if he's gonna play closer to 30 minutes at 7.2K, I think he is worth a shot at GPPs. John Collins here at 7K. The price has dropped a lot. The minutes, he's playing right around 30 minutes or so, but this is a pretty appealing matchup. I like John Collins. I like Trae Young. And I like Dwayne Dedmon a lot here for the Hawks. Then you got Bagley. Picked up a start the other night. Played really well in 37 minutes. Got you 48 fantasy points. Willie Cauley-Stein did get in foul trouble, so that helped Bagley a bit. I still think he has some pretty big upside. Biggs against Milwaukee. I don't think Brook Lopez will be able to stay with him, so I think Marvin Bagley, pretty solid play there at 6.7. And then we got Bobby Portis, kind of let some people down when he picked up the start against Indiana. They just rode with Thomas Bryant off the bench. But I love targeting bigs against Brooklyn. So I think Bobby Portis is in a nice bounce back spot here. So I think he's definitely worth considering. I do like Bobby Portis. Let's see. So Sabonis is out. So you could consider, Kyle Quinn, I believe, is at 4.4. Where's Kyle Quinn? At 4.4. He's a higher usage guy. He'll play right around 20 minutes or so, but I don't know. I think he's okay. Let's see. Where were we? Okay, so if I was going to play a Golden State guy, it would probably be Draymond Green here. 5.9K is just way too cheap. In a game that theoretically should stay close, he should play 30 to 35 minutes. Obviously, I don't expect him to put up 46 fantasy points again, but I think 30 to 35 is pretty realistic. So I think Draymond Green would be my favorite Warrior. He just seems too cheap there at 5.9. So Thad Young at 5.9 also. We got no Sabonis, so I think he plays a few extra minutes. We've seen he can be pretty productive with no Oladipo. He does have some upside in him. So I think Thad Young, definitely in consideration. Let's see. Dedmon. So it's Dedmon as John Collins as Trae Young for me on the Atlanta side. Obviously Minnesota plays big. The only concern is Dedmon getting in foul trouble. We have seen him get in foul trouble in the past a decent amount, so that is the concern. But if he stays out of foul trouble, I think he plays 30 minutes. Karl Anthony Towns, not the best defender, so I think Dedmon, a really solid play there with upside. Kellyo, if all those Miami guys are out again, then I would definitely consider him. It would probably be Kellyo, Waiters, and Wade for me would be the top 3 Miami guys. We saw Kellyo played 41 minutes against Phoenix. So yeah, if all those Miami guys are out again, then you definitely consider Kellyo. I wouldn't expect him to play 41 minutes again, and I wouldn't expect him to get 50 fantasy points, but I think he'll be a really solid, mid-tier play. Let's see, is there anything else down here? I guess I did pass over, where is he? Am I missing something here? Where is, let me go to Dallas. So, did they move him to center only? Okay, they moved Dwight Powell to only a center. That's why I couldn't find him. So he had a really good game against the Clippers. Got you 49 fantasy points in 37 minutes. He would be the other Maverick that I would consider. Other than that, Dallas' rotation is just like everyone's playing at 25 or so minutes. Really hard to predict. But it would be Dwight Powell that I'd consider. I don't like that he's only center eligible because there are a few centers that I really like. But I think he is certainly in play there at 4.3. So let's move on to center. We got Cat in a great spot here against Atlanta, 10.6. Obviously, he had that blow-up game, 72 fantasy points against the Kings. So the concern is probably the ownership. I think he's going to be pretty high owned. We have seen him in decent matchups, against the Clippers, only put up 42 fantasy points. But I think he's a really solid play with upside there for Karl Anthony Towns. But I do think he's going to be somewhat high owned. Drummond, Griffin, again, I'm just not going there with Detroit bigs. It's just, I can never get those guys right. Let's see, Nurkic. You guys know I love playing Nurkic, but they're happy with right now with Cantor and Nurkic basically splitting the minutes, so I can't do it. And then we got Jonas Valanciunas here at 7.4K. I like this play quite a bit against the Bulls. I love targeting bigs against the Bulls. JV, really, really high usage guy. Whenever he gets minutes. I know the price is up there. I think the price scares away some people. But I like Jonas Valanciunas a lot here at 7.4. Whiteside, he's had back-to-back really good games. Now he's had a game against Golden State, Boogie Cousins. I'm just a little concerned. Whiteside getting in foul trouble. He does have some upside. I understand if you want to play it, but personally, I'm probably not going to do it. Miles Turner, obviously no Sabonis, so maybe Miles Turner plays a few extra minutes. We have also seen him have some pretty big upside with no Oladipo. The only concern is can Dallas keep it close? I think Miles Turner could have a pretty solid game. So it would be the Indiana bigs that are the most interest in. It would be Miles Turner and it would be Thad Young, possibly Kyle O'Quinn. There at 4.4K. Cody Zeller. I don't think we can expect this. What do you have? 53 fantasy points against Golden State. That's just insane. We know Cody Zeller. He's like a 20 to 25, possibly 30 fantasy point guy usually. So 5.8K, the price is up. I'm going to let other people chase it. I'm not going there. Cantor, it's just, he's priced right about right. He's going to play 20 or so minutes. He's a high usage guy. So I think he's just priced right there. Ivan Robb currently listed as doubtful. So that would basically leave Jonas Valanciunas and Joakim Noah as the only bigs on the roster healthy. So I would like I said, I already really like Jonas Valanciunas, and I like Joakim Noah a lot here too. Going up against Chicago, a little revenge game here at 4.8K. I think JV plays 30 minutes. I think Noah plays 25 or so minutes. So I like these Memphis bigs a lot. And I'm honestly, right now, I think I'm going to play both Memphis centers with JV and Joakim Noah. That's why it was a little frustrating that Dwight Powell was only center eligible, just because I love these two Memphis centers. McGee here at 4.4. I get it. It's just the minutes too inconsistent for him, so I can't do that. Alex Len, Minnesota plays big, just the Mets not there, so I can't do it. Like I said, I really like those two Memphis bigs. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. So again, the game stacks I really like. I really like this Pelicans and the Lakers game. So on the Pelicans side, it's Drew Holiday, it's Alfred Payton, and it's Randall, who I really like, and Davis. If we get word that he's not going to be limited to like 20 or 25 minutes, if there's no news, I think he's worth a shot in GPPs there at 7.2K. And then on the Lakers side, obviously it's LeBron, it's Ingram, it's Kuzma. Then the rest, kind of hard to figure out. Rondo, definitely in GPPs in a revenge game. The minutes has kind of been up and down for him. So I do like this game as a game stack quite a bit. Milwaukee, Sacramento, it would be Giannis for me. That's about it. On the Sacramento side, it's Bagley, and that's basically it. Clippers, Utah, kind of a fade for me. I understand. Probably if I was to play someone, it would be Donovan Mitchell. But I'm probably going to fade this game. Detroit, San Antonio, going to be low owned, but I'm going to fade it. If you want to play, Drummond or Blake Griffin, I'm not going to talk you off them, but I'm just personally fading. And this Indiana-Dallas game, it's Thad Young, it's Miles Turner for me. I do like those bigs quite a bit. On the Dallas side, Doncic, I get it. I'm personally not going to do it. It would be Dwight Powell if I was going to play anyone in Dallas. Portland, Boston, kind of a stay away. Nothing sticking out the page to me. Portland, the centers are splitting the minutes. Lillard, McCollum, not in the best matchup here. Boston, you guys know, I don't play Boston guys when they're fully healthy. Now we got Chicago, Memphis. I really, really like Jonas Valanciunas and Joakim Noah. Right now I'm thinking about playing them both together. On the Chicago side, it's Markkanen and it's Levine if Dunn and Porter are out. If Dunn and Porter are in, I'll probably stay away from the Chicago side. Minnesota, Atlanta. For Minnesota, it's Cat for me. Possibly one of those point guards if Teague's out. Tyus Jones would be the cash game play. Derrick Rose would be the guy off the bench. Wiggins, I understand it, but I just don't like playing scoring-dependent guys. So it's probably Cat, and that's about it. But right now, like I said, I'm leaning towards playing both the Memphis centers. And then on the Atlanta side, it's Trae Young for me. It's John Collins, and it's Dedmon. Those are the three I would consider. On the Golden State-Miami game, it really depends on injury news. If all those Miami guys are out again, then it's Olynyk, it's Waiters, and it's Wade for me. Dragic, I would consider if he's not going to be on a minutes limit. And Whiteside, obviously, in GPPs, but me personally, I'm just not going to go there. On the Golden State side, not a whole lot I'm liking besides Draymond Green at 5.9K. He just seems too cheap. This Washington-Brooklyn game, I also like this game as a game stack. Just kind of hard to figure out the minutes kind of for both teams besides Beal. I think Beal goes pretty low owned here at 8.9. I like the bounce back spot for Bobby Portis there at 6.3. And then it's kind of tough to figure out the rest. All the other like fringe mid-tier guys for Washington. You got like Ariza, Jabari Parker, Satoransky, Jeff Green. All those guys are definitely playable, but it's just kind of hard to figure out the minutes. For the Brooklyn side, again, it's D'Angelo Russell, it's LeVert. I don't think I want to target anyone else. Possibly Jared Allen, but I don't think I have to go there. Then finally, we got Houston, Charlotte. Obviously Harden. The price has dropped a bit, so I think he has a really high floor. So I like him kind of having a bounce back game. I think Chris Paul is also okay. On the Charlotte side, it's Kemba. That's about it. I'm probably going to fade. So that's kind of my thoughts with this slate. So I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have enjoyed the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section down below. It's also important to follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. I'll give my thoughts and more news comes out throughout the day. And I'll be back for another video on Thursday. So I will see you guys then.